Dre talking about we could slip on the floors, we could fall.
Hello, Internet. Mr. BPG here, and
And I'm thinking, like, what about us?
time's
We could
getting
slip on the
time's getting really tough.
Are you busy?
Hey, what's up? Good morning.
I was ranting.
I know you're ranting. You come in into the camera. I'm doing a video update. We're up to episode 6, I believe. Lovely Lola, and then my lovely wife.
Oh, thank you for kisses.
About to introduce one of the best scenes in the movie, so stay tuned. Let's get to it. So this is where cleaning happens. It actually didn't look too bad from what I remember. I think someone was in here this week and getting some work done. Shout out to you. But reality is what we would call the distraction zone, because we're not writing, we're not making, we're not doing anything. We're just cleaning. I like to clean. It's exhausting though. Boy, it's exhausting to clean. Anyways, onward to the future. All right. So one of the things I was trying to get across in this next episode was just sort of the beginning stages of that flirting process when Dre is kind of at that point where he's starting to wake up as an artist, but only barely. In the sense that he's starting to think he has a calling, but he doesn't quite know what it is. He knows he's just had to work jobs for a living, and having a job for a living and then not having a job. You know, that last one of being what it's like to be homeless was, you know, what he fears. So he's trying to toe the line of, well, how do I work my job versus how do I follow my calling, and where do I put in which times and where. So he is clearly going through a moment. So after Zach makes the joke about Dre falling in love with his employment officer like being in love with your parole officer, Dre decides he's got to go back to the unemployment office to explain himself, since he's had a little trouble holding down some of the less than perfect jobs he's been offered so far, sort of those tester jobs, because as Candace has already told him, what is your calling? What do you want? Go get it. I'm trying to help you get it. Okay, we're like 2 minutes in and I haven't even recorded the script. So Dre raises his arm as he walks through security checkpoint. As he approaches the checkpoint, the receptionist gives him a smile. Oh yeah, because he's got his arms up for security. He approaches the receptionist with a smile on his face. Says, I'm here to meet with Candace. That last gig just wasn't for me. Receptionist, 8.7% countywide unemployment, and Mr. Importance here says the job ain't for him. That's some of that shit that people will tell you when you're trying to follow into your calling. Dre, I was working with Candace too, and then the receptionist says, Candace, oh honey, she quit 3 days ago. Would you like to meet with another job agent? Shit, that's a surprise for Dre. No, I'm good. I'll just use my mental powers to send her a psychic message. Okay, you do that, just get out of my line to do that, says the receptionist. Next, please, because anyone who's got a job, and their job is to get other people a job in that sense, the hard part is taking it seriously and getting through the day. Going to the same place, doing the same thing over and over again gets boring, monotonous, and then, I don't know. Dre steps out, leaves the office. Unemployment office exterior moments later. Dre exits the building, stands at the top of the side of the shade. Takes out a cell phone and opens it up. And new text screen. Immediately he begins to act like Professor X. And editor's note, please. Immediately he begins to act like Professor X of the X-Men as he squints his eyes and he raises his hand to his temple, and then he holds his phone in the other hand and he tries to make a very hard focused mental message, the early stages of text messaging. Stranger sees him doing this and says, hey, are you okay? Dre just says, I'm trying to send a mental message to my friend. Well, you look like you're having a stroke, said the stranger. Oh, fuck this, says Dre. So he takes his cell phone and makes the call instead. And then we get to exterior cafe day for the first official not date between these two. Dre's sitting across from Candace, who is grilling him with her eyes. I'm often caught while working on jobs, snuffing the smell of flowers. Hold on. I'm often caught while working on jobs stopping to smell the flowers. It's just the kind of person I am. Never too caught up in the moment to not be caught up in the moment. And the beauty of the most beautiful flower there is. God, that's hot. Drea says, "What did I do? I finished the shift and then I quit. I can't work can't work that job and it is essentially pointless and my effort is used to produce nothing. Or it doesn't produce anything." So I wrote it. Candace says, "I think you're beginning to leave these jobs is just as an excuse to see me." Dre says, "Well, we wouldn't need any excuse if you'd agree to go out with me." Damn, here's what I wanted to do, the panda thing. I gotta get the panda thing in here. All right, cut away. The conversation before all of this happens, and we're gonna have to do a little go back in time because before we even get to the cafe with her grilling, Andre has to do the icebreaker, and the icebreaker is the panda conspiracy. And the panda conspiracy goes like this: that pandas have gone extinct. You ever seen a panda in real life? If you've ever seen a panda in real life, you realize that basically it's just a drunk guy in a suit. And the reason there's a drunk guy in a suit is because pandas don't exist, because they went extinct, but they had to keep the conspiracy going of pandas, because pandas work as a PSA for sex, for kids, you know? Pandas don't have sex, and then they go extinct. Humans don't have sex, and then we don't, you know, we have to have babies and stuff, and so there's this really elaborate PSA for sexual reproduction, and I really don't believe they exist. So if you can give me that job as being a panda at the zoo, I'd love that job. And then you bounce that off another person and let the conversation begin. That's the icebreaker that begins this scene that I forgot to mention. Lola, how can I help you? I'm almost done. I just have to get through the date at the cafe. It's not going to be a very long episode because I'm already running out of time because it took me too long to get started. And just licking my wounded, broken hands. Back from here. So Candace basically admits to Dre she's not going to date the unemployed. Dre says, "I'm not fully employed. I keep finding work." She's like, "Yeah, work I find for you," says Candace. Dre says, "No, I'm still helping around the theater part-time, you know. Well, the theater's replacing you in a month," says Candace. "Well, what are you, you know? Didn't you just quit your job? You know, you're talking about me being unemployed." "I quit my job because I had another job already," says Candace. "Really? Well, what do you do now?" "Pretty much, I do everything I can like I used to, helping people find jobs, except I find people who can help the elderly." Dre says, "Well, I don't really understand." And so Candace elaborates and says, "Well, healthcare has many jobs, and sometimes they have trouble finding people to work those jobs. I help find those people. Don't you need special training to be able to work in healthcare? For some of the jobs I hire, yes. There are certain nurses that I get jobs that, you know, make a great living off of what they do. And then there are other people who are just need to be there for, you know, for light housework, companionship. So then, talk about it on a date Friday. What if I have a job for you on Friday? Maybe we'll date on Saturday then, says Dre. Dre's getting really focused, and I think it's probably because it's about that time of the year, you know, spring, May, where just all creatures are doing that thing where they're just like, look at me, pay attention to me. I need to make another of me. It's the birds and the bees, it's the pandas and peas. Candace just basically admits, Dre, you're cute. If you can keep this job, then I'll think about it. Dre says, if you already have another job for me, what am I going to be doing? And then Dre listens as Candace explains her new job. Yeah. And so now we go exterior nursing home, where Dre walks across a well-groomed garden area, decorated with many flowers, fountains, bird feeders. He's wearing bright blue scrubs. I don't know how I planned that. I wrote this script months ago. I didn't read the script ahead of time, and I wore my bright blue scrubs. Dre enters the main entrance. Interior nursing home day. There's a receptionist area with double doors. She is busy talking on the phone while Dre is working on the computer. Wow, she's also talking on the computer. An elderly woman walks across with her walker towards the exit door. Caregiver, who's 22, following close behind her, stops her and then turns her walker before she can escape this poor home. No, dear, lunch is this way, says the caregiver. Dre laughs at the lady's reaction of being caught mid-escape. The director, a 40-year-old of the nursing home, approaches him. Are you Andre? The director says. Dre says he prefers to be called Dre. So the director says, okay, Dre, follow me. Now we get into the nursing home. And the director leads Dre through the first floor of the nursing home. Dre listens and looks around at all the activity. As the director explains, Candace told us you were coming today. We're so happy that you were available to help. Candace says that you're a real great guy. And we'll get back to this later. Dre looks into the room where a collection of elderly women are playing cards together. In the cafeteria, there are many eating and a few caregivers feeding their clients. You know, those who can't use their hands and make a mess, we feed them in the caregiving business. The director pushes the elevator button, the door opens, and they enter the elevator together. So now we're in a nursing home elevator. Continuous scene. The director pushes the button to get to the 5th floor, and the door is shut. Director asks, have you worked in the geriatrics before? Dre says, no, this is all new to me, because it is all new to me. So well, got a hell of a first case for you. So, interior nursing home, room 517, moments later. 517, I don't even remember what that's about, but it must be something. Dre stops behind the director. So, this is Ms. White. She is 93, bedbound, so you don't have to worry about her running off. Dre says, well, what specifically am I here for? Because, Dre doesn't know what he's here, and the director just explains your companionship. These places are so busy that, someone like her can be left alone here all day. And you're here to make sure she's not left alone. Keep her company, conversations, and just, help out around the room if needed. You might have to do as much as changing a diaper. That's the real talk. I didn't put that there. So just talk with her, says Dre. Or play games or watch TV, make sure she eats her meals, that kind of stuff. There's a knock at the door. And then Betty off screen says, what? The director smiles nervously. It's time for breakfast, Ms. White. She says, come on in. And they enter. And then we go to the interior of Betty White's nursing home day. No relation. Just an idea of an homage to, at least when I was writing, one of the actors that would be able to pull it off. We'll get back to these scenes after today's shift. So, to the future. And now here at the end, I can finally eat that sandwich I put down earlier. It's probably defrosted enough, although my ass is cold as shit. I can't even begin to tell you about the day I had. Wow. Still ongoing. So, interior nursing home day. Betty White's room. Dre follows the director into the room. There are glass cabinets filled with useless old people things, plus pictures and frames. There's a comfortable couch across from a hospital bed, and in that hospital bed is Betty White, 96, a small, easygoing woman wearing very comfortable velvet walking suit. Director, Miss Betty, this is Andre. He was sent here by Candace to keep you company today. Betty says, thanks, I'm fine. Director says, be nice to this. It's his first day. Lucky me, says Betty. Comes highly recommended. Oh, so you're the man, says Betty. Yes, ma'am, says Dre. Oh, you've got nice big hands. Why not wrap them around my neck until my little head pops off? There's a pause. The director forces out a laugh to break the tension. You're such a joker. Be nice to Mr. Andre. And the director turns to Andre and whispers to him as she reaches for the door. There's a string in the bathroom. Pull it, and the nurse will come to save you. The director leaves Dre alone with Betty. He walks awkwardly to the only open chair of the room, and he sits. A moment of silence passes. Dre is thoroughly confused as to what his job is. He was not given any instruction. You should eat before your food gets cold, says Dre. I'm not hungry, says Betty. Dre says, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, then you eat it, says Betty. I ate before I started work, so I'm not hungry anymore. Why don't we start off with some fruit? Why are you so interested in my breakfast, says Betty. Oh, they asked me to make sure you eat. Well, eat it yourself and tell them I ate it. Problem solved. Another moment of silence passes. Ms. White, why are you not eating? There has to be a moment where she says, honey, at my age, any food eaten eventually becomes a bowel movement. And you may have noticed, but I'm stuck in this bed here, so there's very little movement of the bowels. It takes too much effort. All you get is a shitty diaper out of it, so, what? You gonna change me? You gonna change my diaper? I guess, says Dre. A babe like you's probably never ever changed a diaper. Get out of here. Oh, I'm sure I could figure it out, says Dre. Hey, Tyga, just because you burped on my food doesn't mean you get it. No. Look at this. I coughed all over it. Now whose food is it, huh? Hey. You come up, dog. You want to come up, dog? You want to be in the video? Are you over here farting? Tiger. You're the tiger. You're the tiger. So anyways, Betty says, no thank you, weirdo. It's just gross. You're trying to wipe my butthole? I just met you. Gross. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Dre finally admits I'm just here to impress a woman. Well, how is my cleaning my ass going to impress this woman? How is cleaning my ass going to impress her, she says. I don't know. She's been finding me work. I keep leaving jobs. Well, now I know why you won't leave. I'm sorry, Miss White. You don't need to apologize. You seem like a nice young man. How did you really end up with me? Trey asked him, well, I guess I had the perfect job until one day the bosses replaced me with a smart computer. Now I've been lately just jumping job to job trying to figure out what I even want to do in my life. Here we go. Let me give you some advice. I was a teacher. 65 years, there's no such thing as a perfect job. Best you can hope for is one that pays a fair wage to do a task that doesn't break your body, that doesn't break your spirit. Damn, seems easy enough, says Dre. Betty continues, you would think so, but I always... You... So good, so good. I am sick of all you pets. Not sick of you. You know it's not true. But Nix, you ain't got no business on this desk. You would think so, but I always saw my students dreaming about being actors or playing some athlete sports ball game. And they should have been learning a craft. Maybe something they can give to society to participate more than just being another person. Many young people just want to take from society. That's wise advice. Thank you. Maybe I might look into this healthcare industry. It seems like there's always jobs and I could serve others. This is getting a little bit PSA, but we'll get to it at the recap. Oh, you're welcome. You're going to do good by being here. Now, are you really ready to earn your paycheck? Then Betty leans forward and lets out what sounds like a fart, because she has finally stopped clenching and let loose her bowels. Dre laughs a minute. Mary off screen. So Mama got a job for you changing old lady diapers? We're back in the bedroom, and here we are back with a daughter asking her questions as Mary begins to giggle in her bed, back in the bedroom. Well, how'd you think I learned to clean yours? Mary says, well, Mama taught you. Yeah, Dre says, yeah, she gave me some tips. She gave me some tips on butt wiping. Is this the part of the story where you fall in love with her? Just about. But first, there was an adventure. We ended here at the adventure. We're not going to do the adventure here. That's going to be the next episode. But, yeah, in today's recap, holy crap. So, to this point in the story, we were introduced to the setting. Then we were given a little bit of character introduction. And then we developed those characters while being introduced to the conflict. Once conflict was established, we got to develop the characters a little bit further, and now we're starting to see the story develop. Ryan and his love at first sight, having to navigate the transition into the projection booth. And now Dre caught up in something interesting where at first it was just, I have the perfect job and I have this quiet life, but he is telling the story to his daughter, so he knows something happens. And all these cutaways are just building up to this first meeting. I just wanted to capture that sort of like where I was is where Dre was, where I've been trying out all these different jobs, and we're going to get to some of the other jobs. I kind of left out a lot of the goofy jobs that I've had to work over the years to kind of get right into this one. And looking back on it, we may want to develop those scenes further here in the middle of the script, just to kind of pad out this middle if it gets too short. But it was at this moment that, I personally was put into the healthcare industry, and it opened my eyes to kind of the failures of the younger parts of my life, where I really do want half of my life to be serving others, and the other half of it to be, making these movies and making money off of them. I want there to be a small amount of people who know me as the director, the writer, the producer, the person who makes and who appreciate the things that I make. But I want the other half of my life to be the healthcare provider. It was for humans or animals. I'm in animals now. I want that to be what I'm also doing. That's what I'm trying to build on. Lola. You're messing up the shot, Lola. You ain't getting none of this, Lola. You ain't getting none, Lola. I'm the fat boy who needs to eat. Anyways. Finding is that where Dre was at is exactly where I was. And so kind of here in the middle of the story where he's still finding out himself, still finding out what his true calling is, and luckily he had come across Candace and got those digits to be able to get back in touch, because when she left, it was supposed to be that oh shit moment. But since she saw him in the cafe, that's when he breaks the ice with the panda bear conspiracy, and goes from there. So yeah, this is all based on the time and effort spent where I was being sent out by Candace on job after job after job to care for different levels of people at different ages, at different stages. And we sort of met in that circumstance, surrounded by sick and dead or dying, and trying to do the best we can to help with our skill. Each to our own skill, each to our own ability. Are you guys ready? Are you tired of me recording? It's time to skip to the future where we go back to the episode. Would you like to go for a walk? What about you, Lola? Would you like to go for a walk? That's an affirmative. Tiger, are you ready for a walk? Handsome ass dog. Anyways, thanks for watching. It is now the end of the day. It was a long day. A lot of things happening. And dogs are hungry for my dinner. Didn't you get fed your own dinner? Okay, yeah, this is delicious, but I mean, what's your point? Did you go out and cook it yourself? Do you have a job where you go and buy food yourself? Or do you just take?